Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Coach and Critique. It's a nice night out. It's been hot. A little bit of breeze. Anyway, today I want to talk about how you can get out of being any more of a wage slave, giving up any more of your time than you have to this corrupt system that is getting worse in the United States, and how to stick it to the man. First, most number one important thing is securing reasonable, inexpensive housing that you own. Now, by the way, this plan, as we talk about it, these are things I'm working on too. So you notice I said inexpensive housing, and that means housing that preferably is not controlled by a goddamn landlord that you're paying rent to, and two, hopefully that you own outright. Of those two priorities, getting away from paying a landlord should be top priority, because you get absolutely nothing paying rent every month except a big smile on the landlord's face, or the company. Usually most of these landlords now are giant companies depositing your check. Second to that is getting out of the bank payments. And to do that, you've got to find housing that you can pay off. Now, unfortunately, because we're in a survival era, it's no longer about enjoyment so much as it is surviving in America now. That may mean some of you have to move. Now, when I say inexpensive housing, there are places with inexpensive housing. For example, I've outlined some of these on my channel. You can check out these other videos. But Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Mississippi, and other rural areas, actually some of which are really not too bad. Some of these places even have adequate housing for a person or two for $100,000 or less. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, it's really hard for me to come up with a down payment still. Totally understand that. But if at all possible, if you can scrape up even 20% down and get a place that you own, get out of paying the landlord every month, get out of paying the bank, ultimately, you are so much better off. And even if it's somewhere that is not maybe your optimal place to live, your dream place to live, say you want to live in New York City, that may not be realistic anymore. I'm sorry to say that. You're going to have to visit New York City. You can't live there. Okay. Second thing you got to do, try to come up with as many side gigs or ways of making money yourself that is not reliant on an employer. Now, I know, again, that's easier said than done. These are not changes that most of you guys are going to be able to make overnight. You're not just going to be able to become a self-employed rich businessman with your own place overnight. And this isn't even about getting rich. In fact, if anything, it's about accepting less. Accepting less of a house, accepting places you may not want to live. So that's the second thing. And side gigs can include making YouTube videos. It can include a business that you know a lot about. Let's say you're good at photography, whatever it is. The third and final thing you got to do is eliminate greed. Do not reward greed any more than you have to. Now, unfortunately, we're in a society where you have to reward greedy people, because these greedy people have become so powerful in controlling the billionaires. They own everything. Amazon, yada, yada, yada. But you can eliminate a lot of this. You don't have to buy Amazon Prime, for example. Don't make Amazon Prime your next utility that we all have to pay for. Go directly to the manufacturer's site. In fact, a lot of times I notice it's cheaper, and they usually have free shipping too. Yeah, it's not quite as convenient as adding all your stuff to your Amazon cart. Who cares? Don't reward high prices at restaurants. Go to restaurants that are less expensive if you can find them. Go grocery shopping, buy in bulk. Go to Costco, find things that are inexpensive. Yes, I don't love Costco. Well, it's a love-hate relationship with Costco. Costco does have some great deals, and then I don't love Costco. They're just another company. I get that, but find ways to not support the greed. And this goes for even local and small businesses too, because a lot of people think local and small businesses are exempt from being greedy. No, they're not. Unfortunately, while I'm all about keeping money in the community and small businesses, you have some very greedy small businessmen out there too. Trust me, I know. I've met them. So, kind of recapping, you got to get into a place that you own. That's the step number one, if at all possible. Getting housing secured in the most inexpensive, cost-efficient way as possible. That's reasonably adequate housing. By the way, I have a plan I'm working on as we speak for this. Some of you may laugh at me, but I'm working on it as we speak. And you may see me move to an extremely rural area, I'm just going to say, in the next year or two. Second thing is as many side gigs as you can. Whether that's selling something that you're really good at, photography, YouTube, whatever. And the third thing is don't support greedy enterprises any more than you have to. Now, this video is kept short, but actually those are the 3 keys. Now, this is not going to fix all of our problems overnight, but we need to start voting with our money, putting our foot down as much as we can. It's the only way we're going to get change in America. The fourth and final, I guess, option is leave America, which I know more and more Americans are doing. I would even consider that myself, except I have parents that live here, so I can't really necessarily just bail on them. They're elderly, at least not ethically. So they're boomers. In fact, I'm visiting at their house as we speak. So anyway, we'll see you on the next one.